Hello. I'm Ryan Graham, and I'm here with Tim Thurber, and this is State of Atlanta.
All right. Wait,
All right.
hold on, we're
Nailed
missing
it. Nailed the
someone.
landing. That was
We're-
a little bit of a rough start. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. My mic was deciding that today was the day that it was going to be real screwed up.
And you should all be extremely happy he fixed the mic because it would have not been a pleasurable episode to listen to.
And Tim was trying to be nice and just be like, you should just roll with it. And I'm like, I don't think so. Not if it's like really screwed up.
I mean, it was a good call to reboot because it worked. You're back up and running. We're late. It's all good.
Yeah, and without David here, because now, as you heard, David is conspicuously missing. I had to figure out how to do all the StreamYard stuff too, which is new to me. It's not too hard, but it's just I don't know. It was like one thing after another. I just felt the stress building.
I'm super happy our boss took a day off. Finally,
I know, right? This is his first time missing an episode ever.
He definitely gave us shit every time we miss. At least when I miss. I don't know
That's
about
okay.
you, but
yeah, we should. I mean, we gave him shit too. It's fine.
I wanted him to take time off. It's good. We all need time off. We all need.
I feel like maybe Coastal is sucking him in. He's up there in Myrtle Beach, and maybe he's just feeling a little teal blooded. I don't know. His blue is washing out just a little bit.
You might find him passed out in the middle of their teal turf.
He sent us a picture at like 10 in the morning with a beer on the beach. So
he's good to go right now.
He was like, I think you guys are doing the podcast tonight.
I thought it was super early to call it too, but I guess, he probably had a couple in. So he had to make sure that he could give us the reins to take it forward while he's maybe still awake.
Yeah, I felt like it was cutting it close. I'm like, maybe like a day advance would have been nice. But I mean, he did warn us that this might happen. And for our Patreon members, he put it up to a vote, which thanks all you patrons for unanimously voting take a day off. Ryan and Tim can do it. It's all right. We'll do all right.
It's good.
I figure we should just dive right into it, though. I think the first up that we had was our baseball Coastal Series and then the baseball game today. Kind of sucks. Lost all the Coastal games, but I feel like we still, did Georgia State things and scored a lot of runs. Like not as many runs as we normally score, but it was still like probably high for the average in baseball.
7, 8, 6. Those are excellent. I mean,
yeah, you should win.
You should win. I think we have a problem with pitching somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, they had like 18 runs in the first game, right? And they gradually fell off. Like we almost won the last one, I think.
We did. We lost 8-6. So that was the closest one. I mean, we lost 10-8 on the last one, but we're up most of the game, and then they just stormed back and beat us. So, I mean, I know Coastal's they're top in the conference, right? I mean, they're the cream of the crop. They're the highest RPI, but I hope we can start kind of racking up some wins, getting into Sunbelt play. I know tonight we played and didn't go so hot. That was a guaranteed win. We lost 9-2 to Alabama State. Left 8 on base apparently, so that's not a good stat. Maybe they're just hungover from the Coastal 3-game series. They're not ready to resume their normal bus lot bombers. I don't know.
Well,
2 runs.
I was looking at it, and I don't pay a ton of attention to baseball, and I know that is gonna get under some people's skin, but I just don't pay a ton of attention. Even with the Braves, though, I'm more of a box score guy. I just look at it after the fact, and if I can go out to a field and out to a park and like enjoy a nice day, that sounds like fun. But I typically am more of a box score guy as far as baseball goes for listening or watching on TV. And what I've noticed about our program, though, is that we seem to start strong. Mm-hmm. We seem like the baseball program weirdly starts strong on like other programs, and then seems to fall off later in the season. And it doesn't seem to coincide necessarily with conference play, like maybe basketball does, has in the past. But I don't know what it coincides with. But right now we're sitting at 50% for the season. Which is not as good as you'd think we were doing, right? I mean, like we felt like we were like killing it, and I feel like 50% just isn't that great.
It's kind of snuck up on us a little bit. I think
Yeah,
I thought we were super strong, and then I looked at the record today. I think we're actually under 500 now with that loss.
with the loss, we are now. Yeah, that's right. We were 50% before the Alabama State game today.
Well, I mean, here's hoping to, us cleaning that up against what should be an easy baseball series against South Alabama. No.
They're pretty good, right?
They're pretty good too, yeah. So we'll see.
They're traditionally pretty good, I think. Like they have a strong program. So
They do.
same as Coastal, right? Coastal pretty traditionally has a strong going. It's tough.
Yeah, definitely tough. Well, anything else on baseball?
I don't think so. I mean, it's just kind of sad news right now. I mean, we're going to be playing JMU upcoming the series.
Mhm.
I don't know when is that. Do you know?
I believe JMU. I know we play. That's JMU. Yeah, starts on what, Friday? Yeah, Friday in
Sounds right.
Atlanta. So they're going to be here. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's another one that
No, it's there. Sorry, we're away. I didn't.
We're doing all of the hits for Dave. You know, him missing is, you know, he's hitting his like strongest rivalries, his Coastal, his JMU, his most hated adversaries outside of TDS, and he's not even here to talk about it.
He would be dissing the purple people left and right. I'm sure.
Oh, I know. He really does like hate them a lot. It's like
purple and teal.
It's kind of weird. I mean, like Coastal makes some sense at least at this point, because we've played him in lots of sports for a little while. But like when he paid attention to sports was when we played JMU. We didn't play JMU when he was paying that much attention.
No, that was
sort of weird
long ago in the colonial days, right?
Yeah, and they've always been pretty good. They've always been solid. They've got a lot of money in that program.
They do. They have a lot of money. I think they have the highest student fees in G5, apparently.
Yeah. Their football stadium, man. I drove by it on the way up to I was going to this resort in the middle of the mountains somewhere up there. Yeah. And I drove by it on the highway and was like, holy shit, this is nice. I mean, it was like Sanford Stadium looking nice. I mean, like real good looking stadium.
So I've heard it's got two sides. One side is super nice, and the other side is what people call a dump.
Well, I think they've been building it piece by piece. So there's like newer sections. They've, been kind of building it up.
They only like to show one side. It's like the good side.
Well, we do too. But unfortunately, our side that we show is the not as good side.
Yeah, I do kind of actually wish they would reverse the camera.
We should reverse the camera and put waterfalls in. I mean, 100%.
With the lazy river.
With that goes by my house.
Right through the lower level section. So you got to like go over bridges to get to your seats, and then goes by your house and through Summerhill and comes back. It'd be a long lazy river. That'd
be great. But it would be awesome because I could just like stick a cooler on it and hit it, get in there, and if the weather was too cold, I could just like bundle up and get like a boat.
David loves schedules. We all love schedules, right? Is this the first time that we have softball and baseball playing the same school, but one's at home and one is away? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I think
JMU softball's at home.
Men's basketball and women's basketball does that now, I think, for some reason. That seems stupid, though. It seems like you'd load them all up on the same buses. Yeah. And like it's just a waste of money.
And just go up there, right?
Yeah, I mean, totally. Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for baseball. But I did want to also talk about the spring tour event last week.
Do you remember it, first of all?
I do, but I was one of the last people to leave. And the coaches seemed they commented that they wished it was a little bit more poppin'. There weren't as many people as they were expecting, I don't think. It felt good though. I had a good time. And it was real fun talking to everybody. Dave Cohen was there mingling and making the rounds, and Coach was there, both Coach Hayes and Coach Elliott. And then this is gonna suck, but it's not the women's basketball coach, at least, who I'm not remembering either, but it was the women's soccer coach was also featured.
All right.
Apparently he's like Australian, and it was interesting hearing from him because he was talking about like international recruiting and some of the stuff that he has to deal with that just sort of doesn't match up. I don't know. It was an interesting perspective.
Can he help Elliot with some international recruiting and maybe men's basketball?
Dude, I'm telling you though, the Australian football kickers, because I thought when I first went to Australia, I thought Australian football was rugby. I thought, I don't know, in my brain that's just what it was. And I finally watched a match and I was like, holy crap, it's all kicking. It is like all football players running around a field kicking the ball. Like punting and kicking, and like the way that you score is by like running while you're being attacked by like football players.
And
you're
then
like
kicking?
you like punt the ball through the uprights. Yeah, it's nuts.
Huh.
But I mean, to get a kicker, a punter from that would be like, I mean, they're expert at it. This is like what they do. That's what we should always go get those guys.
I love a good kicker. Every year I talk about our field goal kicking. It's my passion.
I know.
Gotta have a passion, man. Gotta have a passion.
That's true. Well, you know what? They're the highest scoring players on the field. So to it.
So tell me more about the spring tour. Like, is this the spring tour where they did they're all up on seats and Dave Cohen's announcing and giving them softball questions and then letting people ask any hard-hitting questions from the fans? Anything from you or David? Maybe Daniel. He might have asked something. He might have been drinking beforehand.
No, we were all there and we didn't really ask any questions. Dave Cohen wanted me to ask a question, and I was gonna talk about recruiting a little bit. I did ask Coach Elliott after the fact my question that I wanted to ask, which was about grabbing from above. So like, we recruit the cream of the crop from the FCS, and there's been some wins there. But there's, are we able to grab people from the top? And honestly, his answer was not great. It sounded like, no, it is a challenge to do that. That's not really panning out at this point. So that's my theory in the bag. I'm reporting the contradiction to what I've been saying. But yeah, he basically said, no, it's tough. And these guys, they
want money.
They lure our guys away with money. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely happening. And there's a big push. It sounds like there's a priority being put on figuring out a way to organize a co-op of fans that's not the pack, but it's a private co-op to work on NIL from fans. So pump money into the co-op, and then the co-op figures out how to get that to players, essentially. Okay. And that's what all the big programs are doing right now.
Yeah,
they're creating these like private things.
I know Georgia does that. So they have this like fan thing you can fund, and then they basically take all the money and just split it up amongst the players. And they try to actually, I feel like they have like former players come and visit tailgates and stuff like that to kind of drum up support, and it makes a lot of money. Of course.
They're honestly though, so it sounds like our coaches have worked with the Georgia, or our athletic department has worked with the Georgia athletic department to figure out what the legal issues are and like what they need to be doing. And so Georgia, like you said, is doing well with it. And so they want to get something started here. That's all, kosher and legal. And it sounds like that's what the priority for the coaches are. It seems like it really is hitting them hard on the recruiting trail, not having that. Like, that's the new recruiting hotness, is like, get paid, of course, right?
We're going in the direction of they're just employees. They're not student athletes, right? I mean, granted, some of them will still be student athletes, but I think the vast majority are going to see this as an opportunity to get paid and get paid a lot of money, and then get money directly from something like this co-op, but also get real sponsorships from, companies. Like didn't we have someone that had like Arby's or something last year? Maybe
we had a couple of things. Sam Pinckney, every Sam and Samantha in the country got Sam's Club money.
Which is crazy that
literally every sport in the NCAA, every player in every sport in the NCAA got, if they were Sam or Samantha, they got some Sam's Club money.
I mean, for what though? Did they do something? I don't know.
They just got to do a press release saying that's what they did, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
They found
anything else? Any other nuggets from the spring tour at the stadium? Good beer. What did they serve?
Well, I drink nothing but Yingling. They had kind of the typical catered Georgia State event type of thing, you know. So they had Bud Light and they had what's
Three
the
taverns, right? No,
I don't remember. Honestly, I saw Yingling and I just went for it.
safe.
It was cool. Like after last call and the bartender left, there may or may not have been people that were on the coaching staff who maybe
Start
also
drinking.
served some. I don't remember who it was, of course, but we kept drinking for a little while yet. So yeah, we had a good time. Me and David, I think, were like the last fans there. It was mostly employees by the time we left. And we had a good time. We started off at Woods Chapel and then
Always
made our way to
good.
Halfway Crooks and then made our way down to the stadium. So
Any special drinks or food action? Did you get food at any of the places, or just some liquid
no,
food?
we figured we'd eat at the place. We had food at Georgia State. They paid $15, so they had food and drink.
Okay.
Yeah, they had it was, you know, it was Panther dining stuff.
Yeah.
It was decent. It was fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we got 2 more events, right? You got Sweetwater coming up on April 20th, and we have Wild Leap, which I was just at this past weekend, April 26th. So I'm definitely in for Sweetwater. Are you gonna go?
I'm actually surprised we were able to rent the space on 420.
I am too. Maybe they
It's
made
kind
a
of weird,
mistake.
right? Like it
I don't
seems like
know.
they'd be doing their own thing.
I feel like they'll probably put us all upstairs in that upstairs room that overlooks the brewery. I think
Maybe.
just keep us in there because I think
I've only been there one time and honestly don't remember.
what were
It
you
was
drinking?
a
You drinking?
Manhattan Associates work party, and I very nearly got sick in my Uber for like the only time that's ever happened. I was hanging my head out the window.
You're just hoping you get home. Like, just
Yep.
get me there. I need to
Yep.
get home. I need to
And all
be
I had was like
free.
flashes of that, you know, and that was whew.
At least
That's the only place I found their Sweet Georgia Brown,
yes.
which is delicious. And I
It
don't
is
know
good.
why it's not everywhere, but that's like the only place I've ever found it is there at the brewery.
I'm usually good there to have one. What is it called? Sweetwater Blue. I can do one. It's
Oof.
kind of like a cider. One's
I
good
had a
enough.
Sweetwater Blue in my fridge for like 2 years and I could not give it away. Like people would come over and I'd be like, I've got this Sweetwater Blue. And they're like, oh, what else do you got?
I like, actually, I could do a half pour of it. It's pretty good. Just like I can't do ciders all day long either. I can usually do one of those. I could probably actually do one cider
It's
over
blueberry.
a Sweetwater Blue. Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's got its own taste to it. But then I usually moved on to the Sweet Georgia Brown, and then I'll usually head up to their IPA because I don't know, something about 420. It's just funk, man. I don't know. Like,
I'm not into it.
they made it taste. They did refine the formula for Sweetwater 420. Apparently, and it does taste better than it used to. But I don't know, if you put Sweetwater IPA and Sweetwater 420 in front of me, I'm going the IPA all day.
Don't they call 420 an IPA?
No, it's I think it's a pale ale.
Isn't it like IPA-ish?
It is IPA-ish though. It definitely has hops. That's for sure. Their
Yeah.
IPA has a shit ton of hop. Oop, oh, I'm supposed to curse. It has a
I
lot.
think shit's fine.
You can say shit. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah, so it's got a shit ton of hops. I like it though. Whenever I have the choice, like I remember going to Turner Field games and trying to find the stands that had the yellow can. That's all I remembered. And then a couple innings in, that's about it. I didn't remember anything else from the night.
So the other thing with the spring tour I wanted to bring up that specifically stood out to me though was after I talked to Coach Elliott for quite some time actually, which is the really cool thing about these events is that Coach Elliott hung out the whole time. I walked straight up to him and just, hey coach, and we had a good long conversation about all kinds of stuff. Unfortunately, there was something negative that stood out to me. I told him that as far as like our program has gone, it's been, rough to be a fan at times, basically. It's been pretty rough, right? And something triggered in him and he was not happy to hear that. And he was like, what do you mean? And like really just like got into me about it. I'm just like, we're like less than 50%. That's not good. So yeah, we've had some rough seasons. We had a 0 season, we had a goose egg.
Did you remind him of last year?
I didn't at that point. I wasn't trying to like instigate anything. I didn't think what I was saying was controversial.
We've had some bad years, yeah.
We've had some pretty bad years, right? And we've had some pretty good years. So I don't know. I was a little frustrated by that, like him getting on to me for for commenting that it's rough being a fan, and basically like my whole thought on it, and something that I said is like, we're the ones that are here, like we're the ones
We're
like
here every
enjoying the game, right? Like this is you play it for the fans, right? I mean, like I know there's like all this stuff going on. Maybe you don't, and maybe you don't see it that way, but like the whole thing goes round and round and round because you put a product on the field that fans want to come see. You're not just doing it for shits and giggles,
Yeah, and we're the first ones here. We're the last ones out, typically.
That was the other thing is having a problem with me saying that. I'm like, man, I think I've missed like 2 home games total. So like, yeah, I can say it's been rough at times because I haven't like given up, right? I'm here. I'm showing up to all your spring tours like every year. I'm showing up to all your games. I was, part of the group that was the only group tailgating for the spring game. Like we're here, man. We're in. I'm not trying to take anything away from you, coach, but like so you don't have to get all offended at me and like freak out. I'm in the program. I can criticize it too.
Right. We own this program just as much as he does.
Yeah, and I'm not overly negative, I don't think. And so I don't know. It really stood out to me. It frustrated me to like get that reaction from him because it really like it changed his demeanor at me. He was very frustrated that I said something like that. It really triggered him.
Probably just changed the whole vibe of the after party, I guess, right?
I mean, just for me and him for a little bit. Yeah, we sort of ended up parting ways like right during that conversation. Like one of us found a reason to leave the other one type of thing, and that was like how we left it. So I was like, oh well, all right. But I mean, we had a good conversation. Other than that, we talked to oh shoot, what's his name? The offensive coordinator for quite some time too. Glenn, no, I don't know. I forget his name. He's a really nice guy. I've seen him. I saw him after one of the tough losses. He brought his whole family to juniors, and we said hey, and he was really obviously frustrated by the way the game went, but was hanging out with his family. We didn't bother him too much. Was that
Brad Glenn?
Is that his name? That sounds right.
So. Yeah.
He's a really nice guy, and I was telling him too. As much shit as I give Granger, that it seemed like he had a good spring game. That there were like notable improvement there, and that I do as much crap as I give them. I mean, there is something in me that says coaches do know better than we do, right? They see these players in practice and in game time scenario. They see things that we don't understand about these players, and so like I do sort of trust them a little bit more than I trust me. And so like I don't know McKaylee, right? And then like you get a wide receiver's family talking about McKaylee. Like players' families, they get ideas in their head. I mean, you've talked to plenty of them, so
yeah,
no idea any of that stuff. And I was like, hey, he was good, but he definitely was like buckled down, ready to like hear about it. I don't think we're overly negative. I think we're fair. I think we're just honest. We're not rah like all the time, but like we will say it when there's a negative.
We're the voice of the fan base too. I mean, there has been plenty of fan unrest, on 247 Sports and on Twitter and Facebook groups wanting to see something different because we're not getting the results we want currently, right? But, the coaches know the talent. I mean, there must be something about our style or our play or our players and who we have on the roster that just says, this is our best option. McKelly's not it. So yeah. I gotta trust them. Now, did you you said afterwards, was it the current OC or the former?
Current OC.
Oh, that's Trent McKnight.
Yeah, Trent McKnight. That's exactly right.
You said Brad, and I'm like, I think he left.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Trent McKnight. Sorry, that was a former OC though, right?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
So I'm not totally broken.
Was Staggs there? The new DC? Did you get
the new DC was there. I did not get a chance to talk to him, but lots of people had lots of good things to say about him. The new strength and conditioning coach was there, and he is an interesting fella.
Okay.
Little on the crass side, and that's fine. It's good. Good talk.
He's the weight room guy, right?
So yeah, and he was talking about how our weight room is like so nice. He was like, man, the facility is like really great, and it really is. I don't know if people who are listening have seen it, but there's been a couple opportunities to take tours, and so I would suggest doing that if you get a chance because it is really nice. It's like where the Braves used to. It's the pit. It was where the pitchers used to practice, right, or something like that.
Yeah, well, actually, that's still there too. We built all that out. All the stuff that you see on the tour that looks and smells fresh. That's all us. You
Right.
know. Yeah, I echo that. Like, if you get the opportunity to go tour the facility, 100% do it. You'll be surprised. I was surprised. I mean, I'd seen a couple clips and videos, of our facility build out, but man, when you're there in person, I was like, this is impressive for a G5 program.
It's
Period.
got a good like ambiance to it too. It's
Mhm.
like sort of like in the basement of the stadium, and it's like got like it's like all paint. I think it was painted black or dark blue. It's all like I don't know. It's cool, and they're blasting music. I don't know. It had like a real good vibe.
Yeah. And they have some good installations too that are there, just like representing Panthers and strength and conditioning and building team camaraderie. I think that's key too. Although I will say some of some parts of the tour, you get to areas that we haven't touched yet, and you're like, "Yep, this looks like Turner Field," and no one's touched it since the Braves left. Probably before the Braves left.
Probably before, yeah.
But I bet you can find some pretty interesting stuff in that building still. I bet you there's stuff
Probably.
hidden in there. They're gonna unearth it one day and find something really cool. And the Braves probably forgot about it or wherever it is. Like, you know how it is. It's a big stadium. They probably stored shit all over the place. And I'm sure there's something interesting that'll be unearthed when we get to, building out some more areas upcoming.
Yeah,
You know what
no,
I
that'd
kind
be
of hope
awesome.
for? I kind of hope that they do like I know we all sit on the club level for the most part, but it would be kind of cool if there's a club down below that you can go to that's part of that whole area, but obviously away from the players. I think that would be kind of cool to build out one
What do
day.
you mean? So you mean like a place to like have a private hangout type of thing,
Yeah, halftime hangout that's like maybe stocked with TVs, a nice bar, and then you can go in there at half.
I feel like they try to do that with the what is it, the University Club or whatever it is, where they do all the private events and stuff like the spring tour. They've got a nice space up there, and they've used it some, but they really like don't do enough with it, I don't think. And I think maybe they tried to early on, and it didn't really pick up, and so they just gave up on it. But it's a really nice space.
You're talking about the Touchdown Club?
Touchdown Club, that's right.
Yeah, I like that space. Man, we watched I remember watching the Army game that one couple years ago when it was raining. Like
Mhm.
everyone decided to congregate in there to watch the game because it was A, raining crazily, and B, freezing, if I
Yep.
remember. And so everyone was like, "This is heated. There's
I'm gonna go
glass. We can
inside
see
and
the game."
watch.
Yeah, that was a
That's
good time.
well, and like when I bring my kid, and it's just a lot easier to have her run around in there and watch the game and not really worry about much than it
Right.
is to go out in the concourse or be out in the let her run around in the concourse while I'm watching the game out in my seat. Like it's just fine. It's just easier in there. So that's
Sure.
always good too.
All
All right, I
right.
think is that it for spring tour?
I think so. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been able to go to one yet. I didn't go to the first one because I was going to the Coolray Field event the week later, and I couldn't make it down to the stadium. I was actually way behind on work, so it just wasn't going to fit. I actually thought about it for a split second and looked at the traffic, and it looked insane, so I had to bail. But I'm definitely going to Sweetwater
Yeah.
because that's the good one by far.
I'll be at the next two. I mean, there's two more, right? There's
Mhm.
Sweetwater and like you already said it earlier.
Wild Leap, yep.
Wild Leap, yeah. So I should be at the both of those, and then Denver's coming into town for the Sweetwater one, so that'll
All
be cool.
right.
Yeah, yeah. So getting her involved in the Georgia State stuff.
We have to get her to join the pack.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, maybe not.
She can join the pack with $1 of my donation.
Yeah, there you go. Give her $1. Join the pack. I had an interesting conversation at the event with some of the other fans last Tuesday. I know it's widely known, I think, throughout all the fans that we go for those high dollar donors, and that's like our bread and butter.
Yeah.
I don't know why we don't get lower dollar, higher volume donations from everyone else. Like, start small, man. I mean, look, Clemson did it when they had IPTAY or I Pay 10. Fine, do that. I mean, money is better than no money, and getting people to start donating to your organization. I know it's more effort, but I don't see why not.
Well, so the thing is those low dollar donations like that are lower effort because you usually you're usually running a campaign and you're like pushing it out to the masses. You're not like doing a lot of one-on-one, taking them out to dinner, all
Sure.
the other stuff that happens with like the big donors. Big donors get wined and dined, and and honestly, the bang for your buck is a lot better for that. So like I understand why a lot of effort is put into it. It's fundraising 101, right? It's easier to get one guy to donate a couple
Then
grand than it is to
about
get
a
one guy
hundred.
to donate
Sure.
$10 to get a bunch of people to donate $10 to equal that, right? So
Get some interns on that though, man. I mean, it's just I don't
but
know.
there's just no reason not to do both, right? Because they're just
Right.
two different types of things. And even if you had two different development people who were working on, large donors and the smaller donors, they should be paying for themselves. So like, why not do it? Just get them.
Yeah.
Like, let's work on it. But I've made my opinion on development strong, clearly here that we need to have it.
Got to start
um,
somewhere, right?
we need to have it. It makes everything go right. It's cyclical because now all of a sudden the rest of the athletic department has to answer to them while they're saying, what do I need to be telling donors? And then the donors are donating, they expect it to happen, right? So there's promises being made, there's a plan that gets created so that the donors will donate the money, and then they're on the hook to actually do the plan because the donators donated the money. And
Mhm.
it's this circle, right? So if you're just relying on students and you're going to get the money anyway, there's no plan, there's no, you just like wandering in the wilderness.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to get those donations later when they're gone, right?
That's right.
We gotta develop the students. I mean, I don't know what it's gonna take. I'm sure athletics doesn't want to hear it, but you got to figure out a way to get students involved. It's the only way that this whole thing will work in the long run. They have to get involved. They have to get latched onto it. I mean, you don't have to get everyone in every class that
Nope.
graduates, but you got to get some
It
and
just
just
changed the
continuously build.
culture.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've mentioned it here too. My little brother was told by his teacher, not to come. That who cares? Like, it's just Georgia State football, and like they were talking down about it, and I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, where I bet that doesn't even happen at Georgia Tech. Like,
no, we should fire that teacher. Who would
I
say
mean,
that?
it's messed up. Like, I mean, we shouldn't fire, but we need to change the culture, right? We need to I don't know, the
Promote
faculty needs to be on board or not, but like, you don't have to be negative, right? You can just live your life and not do anything. That would be even easier.
Sure.
I just don't understand being negative about the university as an employee of the university. Like, for programs like Georgia and Alabama, their football programs pay for academic programs.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, they donate money back to the university
fund.
itself for academics, and we could get there. I mean, there's no reason we couldn't, right? I mean, support that program. You don't have to pay. I mean, you get paid from the university, but like, maybe don't shit on them.
That's definite culture change needed. That's terrible that a teacher actually said that to students. We need to build the culture, not destroy it.
Right.
You're never going to get a good culture if you got people that work for your company or university downing part of the university.
At the most basic level to your students, which is like poisoning the roots, right? So like that kind of rhetoric will change things for a decade.
Yeah.
Now that all those students that are graduating won't have anything to do with the program.
But those students are the key. I mean, you gotta get the students involved. If you don't, it's not gonna work long run. Like, we're in the wrong. Like, FBS would be wrong if we don't start changing the culture and start cultivating fans. We're not doing the right things to stay where we're at. And maybe not being in the AAC, as much as it hurts me to say it, is the right decision. I don't know.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I changed my mind. I started seeing the money. I'm like,
you want to be there now? You
yeah.
Join David and I. Come on.
Well,
the dark side.
All other things being equal, the TV money plus everything else that comes with it, like money wise, yes, be there. That's where you want to be.
Yeah, and even though it is the current gateway to P5, and it might not be in the future, I still think it'll stay in the top 2, top 3 of G5 conferences no matter what.
Well, and it's like 10 times more money. It's not like a small. It's not just like a grand here and there.
No, it's
It's like
huge.
multiple steps forward as far as money goes. So
Yeah. I wish we
yeah.
were in it. I wish we had taken that opportunity just like Charlotte did. I mean, come on, Charlotte's in it. There is no reason we shouldn't be in it. None. 0.
Hey, Charlotte joined CUSA too, and it's a good thing we didn't join with them.
That's true. I'm curious how that conference unravels. I mean, I know they're having a phenomenal year, right? They got multiple teams. They got FEU in the Final Four. They're moving along.
I
They
know.
they had, I think, 2 teams compete in the CBI championship for college basketball, which doesn't matter, but still bragging rights, right?
All I care about is FAU to the Final Four because I was the one who put them there in both of my brackets, and I won both of my brackets because of that. Because everyone else got busted, and at work I won $100.
What'd you win here?
Nothing. Because I'm a host.
Nothing.
I'm a host, so it's going. I think it goes to Danny. Or I think there was a chance somebody else could win. I don't know. I haven't looked at it recently, but Danny was second.
Okay.
So he'll get the swag or whatever. There was some joke made about me providing it. I don't know.
Let's see. Actually, I can go over it since I'm the commish and I didn't register in time, or my internet sucks and I didn't get my picks in.
Don't worry, man. Your bracket would have been busted anyway.
Oh yeah,
And
I
I
would
would have
have.
beat you. So
I
don't worry about it.
actually now I will say, since he's not here, I did manually write down what I would have gotten to, and I would have been in 9th place, slightly ahead of David. So that's it. That's all I gotta. That's my one claim to fame. I did not do as bad as David if I had actually got the submission.
You know what though? He's not here to shit talk. So congratulations on beating David.
Yeah. So it looks like Sosame's life, Todd actually is in second.
Okay. I knew there was a path for him, but it was like just barely, right?
Yeah, so congrats to Todd. 64 points. I think David's got some kind of prize pack for you, so I'm not sure how to get in touch with you.
We'll figure it out.
We'll probably get it like the first tailgate, for those Rhode Island Rams that come in. And then in 3rd place, let's see, Stealing TGT with 62 points. And then Danny in 4th place with 58.
Oh, man, he fell quite a bit.
He did. Yeah. He had Houston.
Yeah, I mean, I had Houston, but I just had FAU in the Final Four, and no one else. I feel like there was barely anyone else had. Everyone was busted to all hell by the end there.
Yeah, actually, I was telling some friends about your picks, and I was like, yeah, I have a friend, he picked FAU to get to the Final Four. They're like, why? How?
I really did. So and it was because of the stats that NCAA's website gave me, and I looked at like points against, points for, and then and I didn't look at the record as much as I looked at the record versus top 25 programs, which was also included in like the comparisons. Because I was like, these are like similar opponents at least, and then they also included the net ranking. So like I just sort of looked at all that and was like, all right, like this team should beat this team, and it was usually apparent. And then with FAU though, I got to the point where I was like, man, I can't believe I'm picking FAU, but like if I'm going to follow my strategy, I need to pick them because they're obviously the better team on paper. And so like I'm going to do it. And I was right, but I was wrong about a lot of other ones, so I can't take too much credit.
True. You didn't have FAU going to the championship though, right?
No, I had them going to the Final Four, and I had I did have Furman though in the first round. I was one of the rare Furman picks.
Furman, nice.
Yep. But I didn't have the other one. I didn't. So I didn't even look at the number ones. I just picked the number ones because there's only been one other upset in history.
You don't choose it. You don't do it unless
you're
like
I went through all 4 of those, and I was like, I don't want to think about this, and I just clicked one.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome though. I mean, I feel bad. I know I have a lot of friends that obviously know FAU. Like growing up in South Florida, you went to Florida, Florida State, or Miami. And then after that, it was, do you go to UCF also known as You Can't Fail at the time. FAU's not even on the radar. FIU didn't exist, I don't believe, at that point. But it's impressive what FAU's been able to do. I went there, so I can claim a little claim to fame. I went there for one semester in the summer to take one class, sociology,
All
which
right.
was yeah.
You
So I
were
mean,
they're owls, right? You were an owl?
owls. I was an owl for a summer. Uh, they're like us, honestly. They are so close to what we are at Georgia State.
Right.
Just the campus
I
and
think we were owls for at some point in time because that was like the mascot of every night school.
yeah. Maybe they're a night school. I just didn't know it.
They
But
were. That's the thing. So like the history is they were a night school. They were like somebody that you went to, like you'd have a full-time job, then you'd go
Mhm.
there after same as Georgia State, same as Kennesaw, night schools. And then, as we've progressed, we've kind of gone out of it. And then we had Irby and some other stuff, and then Kennesaw just kept the owl and FAU kept the owl.
Yeah. But I was sad for them. I thought they'd played a fantastic game, and to lose last second, I mean, hey, it was a great game to watch. I don't know if you watched it, but
I didn't.
It was great. I mean, like literally last second shot to win San Diego State.
I like San Diego too. I had them going pretty deep. Not that deep, but I had them going pretty deep.
I wonder, I am curious, what will happen to FAU? Like, is the coach staying? Is the money good because of the Lane Kiffin effect? Will all the players stay? Are they going to fade away into non-existence again? Because traditionally, they've not been a very good team. Like, if you look at their historical win-loss record, way worse than we've been. I mean, for a long time. So it was like this is almost like is it a flash in the pan, or are they going to continue building off of this amazing, honestly, unbelievable season?
Well, so their coach is going to get hired away, right? I mean, that's just like the nature of the beast. Kennesaw's coach got hired away.
Yeah, he went to USF.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is it's what we were talking about earlier about money, right? The money is so much different where like you can be like, well, I don't understand why that, like as a fan, you can look at two programs and be like, they're like the same. But the head coaches at both those programs are getting paid substantially more, right? So he's going to get hired away, like for sure. There's some programs going to need him. And the key is going to be, can they hire somebody to replace him that can keep it going? You have programs like Arkansas State in football who did it for a number of years. They kept getting their coaches hired away, and they would hire some other magnificent coach, and it just happened over and over and over again. And I think if you get enough of those, you get some momentum, and it starts looking like a stepping
place
stone.
To be, sure.
Right? You can make 10 times what you make in a couple years by showing up here and doing a good job, and so that in itself is a selling. And so you got to be able to leverage that. I think Arkansas State's fallen off a little bit, but I think the right athletic department can leverage it, and it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, the interesting part too with the new transfer rules is that the Kennesaw coach that went down to USF, 3 of his players entered the transfer portal. I don't know why. Like they'll probably follow him down to USF and join the team. So we'll see how that pans out. But in years past, it wouldn't be so easy for a player to, when their coach gets hired away elsewhere, to say, hey, I want to transfer and I want to sit out a year. Now with the instant eligibility rule, it's like, hey man, come with me, let's go. And it's going to happen. Every time a coach leaves, players are going to follow. Well, a couple of them, the ones that were asked to come along.
Thank God we had Odom.
I know, right?
Imagine no Odom this year. Holy crap.
That'd have been worse than the 13 wins we got. 10 wins.
I mean, really though, he was like one of the. I mean, there were other bright spots, but he was like the brightest spot.
He was good to watch.
Yeah.
I hope he comes back strong. I know he was really banged up at the end of the year, and then for some reason we kept playing him when he's clearly injured.
Injured. He's like limping along, dribbling the ball.
I was like, can we pull him? We need him next year. I think like we need him. Like let's not injure him any further than need be, right? So
yeah. So you had some recruiting in the notes that you added on here. So is there anything specifically you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, so we got Julian Mackey rated, so he's a 3-star, which is great. There was some chatter on Panther Talk about I don't know, is this class any good? Like, how does it compare to years past? And honestly, yeah, we're ranked 78th nationally in 2023 as it stands right now. Obviously, it's not everything's not closed, but if you look at years past, like last year, we ranked 100th, 2021, 88, 2020, 86, which were kind of riding some of those better seasons that we had in the NCAA tournament. But I mean, it's the highest ranked class, ranked class since 2016. So we'll see how it all pans out. I'm really hoping, Jonas has brought in some key players to play some major minutes, and um, I want us to actually have a good season next year and not. I don't want to see the same thing I saw this year. If we see that again, that's a huge red flag. Like, whoa.
I will say at the spring tour, when he was answering questions and we were hanging out talking for a minute too, he definitely like embraced the we couldn't shoot. He definitely
He
like
just said it.
knows that. Like
Did he
that,
say it without saying it, or he just said
no,
it?
he just said it. Yeah, he would just be like, we got to be able to shoot. And he cracked a joke or two about the shooting of the team. So like, he knows, which
Yeah.
to me is extremely positive, right? He wasn't like trying to hide it or anything like that. He was like, nope, this is our problem. We got to fix it. And, hopefully that's what he's out there doing, is fixing it.
Some of these transfers definitely look good, should help with that shooting aspect. I'm surprised no one asked him about layups because those were tricky this year. Now, maybe it was just a side effect of not being able to shoot mid-range or threes or basically anything.
No,
Maybe
you should be able to shoot layups, right? They're layups.
one of the easiest.
They're metaphorically and
basketball.
literally layups.
Yes, exactly. Just some recruiting updates. One of our departures, Caleb Scott, which I'm a little upset about. I thought he could have been a good person to have still on our team. He landed at Presbyterian College in the Big South, who won a whopping 5 games last year. I don't know what NIL money they offered him, but fantastic. I mean, all the best. I wish you were still here. Even if you're coming off the bench with the transfers we're getting, I still liked some of his play. I thought he had a good touch on his shot.
Well, he'll be a starter wherever he goes then.
Oh, yeah. At Presbyterian, I'd hope so.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a reason to do that, I guess. But, and we talk about that, right? Like, if you want to play, go to a program where you can play. And if you can show out on the court, on the field, whatever, like, scouts will find you, but you got to be out there for them to find you. You can't be not playing. But he played here, you said, right?
Yeah.
He was getting minutes.
Oh, he's getting minutes, yeah. I think, reading between the lines, it seemed like Coach Hayes at the end of the season had one-on-one evaluation conversations.
I think he had a list of people he was like, you should enter the transfer portal.
Yeah, kind of one of those meetings you get scheduled in at work. You're like, why am I in here? What's this meeting for?
That happened a lot to you, Tim?
I did have one of those meetings. I did get laid off in my career. Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, man. I got laid off one time. My very first job, I got laid off.
Really?
Like 2 months
How'd they do it?
Well, they offered me to pay me in stock. And I laughed.
You're like, what?
I actually laughed, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Wait, I'm not supposed to laugh at this offer.
Yeah, you were working on, you were very serious. Oh, whoops. No, I'm out. I'll take a letter of recommendation, and I'll be on my way.
Wow. Mine was, the company wasn't doing so well, and I knew it because I was in a director role over 3 different groups, and obviously part of it was sales. And I saw the pipeline for what was upcoming, and there was nothing in it. And when that happens, it's never a good sign, especially when you're not really managing any particular accounts. And so I asked point blank to my boss, I'm like, hey, this is happening at some point in the next quarter, isn't it? He's like, yep, you know what you're talking about. And I got the meeting request, and it was like, there was 2 meeting requests that went out. One that was to the regular meeting location. The other one was in like this auxiliary office that we hadn't used in 4 months.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's
this is with HR, isn't it?
But it was so bad. I had to keep my mouth shut because I'm in the elevator with a bunch of like friends and coworkers. I couldn't say anything. They're like, I wonder what we're doing. And I'm like, oh man, I feel so bad. I just want to tell them out loud. They were all about to be laid off, but I couldn't.
Yeah, we're getting fired, y'all.
Yeah. Luckily,
wonder what we're doing.
Luckily, it was okay.
My sweet summer child.
Luckily, it was okay because honestly, there was some pretty terrible stuff going on in the company, and I was not upset to be leaving.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like there was problems anyway. So,
yeah.
Anything else? I feel like we should. What I wanted to do, and I really just am not motivated. But what I wanted to do was talk about scheduling because Dave's not here, and I love scheduling.
What schedule you want to talk about?
But I just really wasn't very interested in it, so I didn't do that. I just thought it'd be a funny joke, and so I'm saying it now.
You could just say I love schedules.
Oh my god! I wish Dave was here so we could talk about scheduling.
Okay. Here's the funny thing. I like schedules. I like schedules too. But I don't think to the nth degree that David loves schedules.
He's into them.
Like he makes spreadsheets upon spreadsheets of schedules.
I know.
Like I feel like I will say something on a podcast and he'll analyze the schedule to death of whatever I said.
Just win, baby.
Have the answer. Yeah. Also, that's just part of it. Just win games, right?
Yep.
What else we got? We got other sports. You want to go on to that?
You want to run through that? You said you were going to do it, but you also said that you didn't have a lot of the information you wanted.
I don't.
So I was actually letting you off.
No, don't do that. It's not fair. I will. So props to the women's track team. They went to the Texas Relays and they won the 4x400 team relay.
Nice.
So that's awesome. Beach volleyball. We like to talk about our beach volleyball team because they are amazing, but just to the ranking they're at, not shockingly.
Have they continued that trend? They lost all of the games.
They lost all of the games at the what is it? I don't know what's called East meets West tournament.
Is that what it was? I remember. I remember everyone was ranked above us.
So LMU we lost 1-4. Hawaii we lost.
What is
1-4.
LMU? Do you know?
I think we talked about this last time.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Just keep going. It's all good.
It's Loyola Marymount. Yeah. And then unfortunately, again on Saturday, we lost to USC 1-4. That seemed to be a trendy loss, and that was it. That was the tournament. That's it. Oh, UCLA, forgot them. Sorry, we lost to them too. So not a good event for the Sydney Panthers, but they do. I think they come home this week, and we have what is it? The GSU Diggin' Duels that we're gonna play. We play UT Martin Stetson, my old stomping grounds for 2 years of college. A little fun fact there. And then we have USC's coming into town. Now, I don't have the rankings, so don't ask me if we're going to win any of these games. David would know and have that information and tell us, literally predict our win-loss record, but I don't. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah. Nothing really else outside of that to report.
Honestly, we're going long right now without Dave. Even we're going along, so it's all good.
You're doing a great job. Gotta give you mad props.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
you've been great too.
It's crazy when you have time to talk.
It takes two. Oh boy, yeah, it took the pot shot. It's okay. He won't listen this far.
No, he won't get into like 53 minutes. Hell no.
It's all good. Are we gonna do a last call? I wasn't sure. We can figure it out.
We should do last call if you know how to do it.
I can figure it out. I think. It'll take me a second. It'll be a little longer.
Yeah, we can save some of the extra stuff that we have on our schedule that we did, our little topic sheet. We have to actually do work this time.
I think we hit it. Okay, yeah. There's one thing we didn't hit.
Yeah, there's just one thing we didn't hit.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, we'll do that, and you guys can do some last call. I need another beer and to pee. So,
you gonna close the show out with the $3 Patreon merch discounts?
I feel like you just did it.
Oh man. Well, hey,
Patreon.com/State of Atlanta. Sign up. $3 a month. I don't have much of anything else. I think you follow us on Twitter at the same @State of Atlanta. I'm pretty sure
you get exclusive access to a GroupMe chat group, which is honestly one of the best chat groups on the planet.
Yeah,
better than Panther Talk.
Like I feel like people hear and I know people are gonna be listening right now, but people hear Panther Talk and they kind of roll their eyes a little bit because there's some some like toxicity that happens there.
All right,
And I really stopped for a while going to those message boards because there were just certain people that turned me off in a way that was frustrating. And we're not like that. We're like all buds, you know, like everyone there gets along and we talk constructively about stuff. And there were definitely people who know more about the program and less about the program that like, I don't know, we bounce ideas off of each other. It's a really positive environment. I like it a lot.
We talk about bourbon. We talk about smoking meats.
That's
we talk
right.
about all kinds of stuff on the
We
group
talk
thread.
about Joe Exotic liking my tweets.
Yeah, what I'm curious. Well, actually, you know what? Save that. I'm
We'll
gonna ask
save
you
it.
what he liked for last call.
We'll save it.
Because that's also intriguing and slightly scary at the same time.
He liked my tweet from prison.
I mean, he had to pay money to use a device to like your tweet. That's hilarious. Well, anyway, $3 a month. It's nothing. Just do it.
At least. But yeah, definitely.
Merch discounts. We have great merch on our website. David doesn't talk it up enough, but honestly, go check it out. Great merch.
If you go to stateofatlanta.com and click on the merch link, it'll take you to our store. There are some really nice stuff, some really nice things in there too. Yep. Nice hoodies.
Well, gotta love a hoodie.
All right. I think we should probably wrap this thing up. Say goodbye, guys.
You have to say goodbye. Peace.
All right. Goodbye, guys.
Peace.